All right, folks, week 12 is here, and I'll be honest with you, it's already getting a little depressing that on Monday morning, the season is already going to be two-thirds over. But week two got kicked off last night with the Texans and the Bills, and kind of a crazy game. The Texans win 23-19, and Josh Allen was sacked 7 times. He was hit 13 times. And the Texans defense, we've been saying it since the beginning of the season, this could be the best defense in the whole NFL. And when you have Hunter and Anderson Jr. chasing after you the whole game, that can make for a really long game. But if you look at the Bills, I think this is a team with a lot of flaws right now. They have a set of wide receivers that are not getting open at all down the field. A lot of their routes are just quick routes, screens, whatever it might be. But they are not getting open down the field. They're not good on defense. They can't stop the run. And most importantly, Josh Allen has 3 more interceptions already than he had all of last year. I think this is a team that's really struggling right now. They had a big win against Tampa Bay last week, but they are also struggling. And in the last 3 weeks, they lost to the Dolphins and the Texans. And they are on a tough track right now. And if you look at them right now, the division is basically out of reach. If you look at where the Patriots are sitting, the Bills with that loss to the Dolphins, they had that in-division loss. It's going to be tough for them to catch the Patriots. And if you look at their schedule, I don't think there's any guarantee that they make the playoffs. I think they will, but they're going to have to go a minimum of 4-2 here to make it, because they go at Pittsburgh next weekend. They got Cincinnati. It looks like Joe Burrow is going to be back. They got the Patriots at New England. They got the Browns at Cleveland, the Eagles, and the Jets to finish the season. So they're going to have to go 4-2 through that stretch to make the playoffs. I think they'll get there. I think they'll beat the Jets. I think they'll beat the Browns. I think they'll beat the Steelers and the Bengals ultimately. But they can't go 3-3. If they go 3-3, they're going to be in a really tough spot. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. But this weekend, 2 really good games at noon. It looks like the NFL gave us all a chance to put up our Christmas lights on Sunday afternoon, because the afternoon games are pretty terrible. We got the Falcons and the Saints. We got the Browns and the Raiders. Shedeur Sanders making his first start. And then we got the Cowboys and Eagles. So that one might be a little bit interesting, but the noon is where everything's happening. I thought they would have flexed the Chiefs-Colts to 3:30, but that never happened. That, to me, is the most interesting game of the entire slate this weekend. And Kansas City at Kansas City is really fighting for their lives here. They absolutely have to win this game. If they don't, I don't really see a path to the playoffs unless they rip off a stretch of 6 straight wins, which I don't think is going to happen. They absolutely have to have this game. And if you look at the Chiefs right now, there are 2 stats that I read this week that are really alarming to me. Number one, they are dead last in the NFL in giving up passes more than 10 yards down the field. And number 2, they're dead last against play action right now on defense. And if you look at the Colts right now, they obviously want to run the ball. They have the best running back in the NFL. That could spell a lot of trouble for Kansas City. Now, I think the good thing for Kansas City here is that this Colts defense is very shaky. They're not all that great in the secondary. They don't really have an elite pass rusher. So I look for this to maybe be a pretty high-scoring game on Sunday, but we'll see how that plays out. The second one, we have the Bears playing at home versus the Steelers, and I think this is a fascinating game because Chicago's 7-3, and they've won 7 of their last 8 games, and you have to give them a lot of credit for that. But if you look, excuse me, if you look who they've beaten during that 7-game stretch, they've beaten J.J. McCarthy twice. They've beaten the Bengals with Joe Flacco. They've beaten the Giants, the Raiders, the Saints, the Commanders, and the Cowboys, who have the worst defense in the NFL. Not exactly murderer's row on that list. And so this will be their first challenge they've had in really quite a while, and probably the best defense that Caleb has faced all year long. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. So I want to get to my picks, and I am 18-20 on the year, and I'm going to preface this by saying I had to do a last-minute change because all week it looked like Joe Burrow was going to play, and it turns out he's not going to play. It'll be Joe Flacco. I initially had the Bengals covering -7 with Joe Burrow in there, but I've since taken that one out. There are not a lot of games I like this weekend in terms of a betting aspect. There's a lot of big favorites. There's a lot of really shaky favorites, and not a lot to pick from here this week, but we're going to give it our best shot. So number one, I like the Steelers plus 2.5 and to win in Chicago. I think this is the best defense that they've faced. Caleb has faced all year long. Their defense was fantastic the last couple weeks. TJ Watt has been playing outstanding, and I think the Bears go into Chicago and win this game. I think it'll be a relatively low-scoring game, but I think the Steelers are ultimately going to win. So I'm going to take the Steelers plus 2.5 at Chicago. Number 2, I'm going to very reluctantly take the Chiefs -3 at home versus the Colts. And I think there's nothing more dangerous than a desperate team. And right now, Kansas City is pretty desperate. And I think Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have taken a lot of crap this week from the media around not running the ball, missing some deep passes. And I think they're going to come out with their hair on fire. Reminder, despite them being 5-5, they are 4-1 at home. And this game is in Arrowhead. I think they will pick off Danny Jones at least one time. And I think they'll hold Jonathan Taylor down enough to pull out the win here. So I'm going to take the Chiefs -3 in Kansas City. Number 3, even more reluctantly, I'm going to take the Jaguars -3 at Arizona. And I say that because every time I pick Jacksonville in one of my picks, they have lost this year. And the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, they're coming off the best game they've played in a really long time. They absolutely took it to the Chargers last week. But right now, Jacksonville is 4-2 at home and 2-2 on the road. And this game is on the road. They're just a completely different team on the road, and but I think the Cardinals right now are really looking towards the offseason. Kyler Murray doesn't look like he's coming back this season. It looks like they're going to get ready to offload him. It doesn't look like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play, so it really gives them down to one weapon in Trey McBride. I think the Jaguars are going to win by a touchdown. I'm going to take the Jaguars -3 in Arizona. Number 4, I'm going to take the Rams -6.5 at home versus Tampa Bay. And this is Monday night, and I thought that was an extremely impressive win versus Seattle the other night, because Seattle, I think, is one of the top 3 best teams in the NFL, and they picked off Sam Darnold 4 times. They were outstanding on defense, and Stafford did not really do a lot. But if you look at Stafford over the last few games, he has 22 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. That is an insane stat. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFL right now. Tampa Bay is really beat up. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Their only win coming against the Saints. They're going to be without Mike Evans. They're going to be without Godwin. They just have too many injuries right now, and they're not able to hang with some of these better teams. So I'm going to take the Rams -6.5 at home versus Tampa Bay. And finally, I'm going to take the Packers -6.5 at Lambeau. And I'm really starting to regret my Packers winning the Super Bowl this year. It does not appear that that's going to be the case. This is another desperate team. People have talked all week about the Chiefs missing the playoffs, but Green Bay is in that same spot. They cannot afford to lose this game. There's only one room for either them or the Lions in the playoffs. And right now, if they lose this game, the Lions have the Giants. It looks like the Lions will be ahead of them. And Green Bay's got a pretty tough schedule coming up. If you look at their next 5 games, they play the Lions 4 days after this game on Sunday. Then they have Chicago, the Broncos, the Bears again, and the Ravens. That's a pretty tough 5-game stretch, and this is one they absolutely cannot afford to lose. So I think they're going to come out very desperate. I think they're going to play really well. J.J. McCarthy's been very shaky. I am going to take the Packers -6.5 at Lambeau. So that's how I see Week 12 going. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk to everyone Sunday night.